Anybody wants to warm it up? Get loose again. Come on out. Go. Heat! 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 Heat!
Huddle up. Huddle up, boys. Circle up.
Circle. Ready? Okay, here we go. Forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Go in reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Big circle forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alternating going back. Right. 1, left. 2, right. Left. Big circle. Windmill. 6, 7, 8, 9. Good job. Stretch it across that chest, right arm across the chest. Pull that elbow in. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Left elbow and arm across the chest. Pull that. Left elbow in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Left elbow up and back. Pull it back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep working that shoulder, right side. Pull that elbow up and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, wake up on those glutes. Lunge for a count of 5 down at the bottom. Right leg forward. Here we go, all the way down. Okay, and bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. Left leg forward, right leg back. All the way at the bottom of the lunge. Just a little bounce. Here we go. Woo! All right, here we go. Let's get on our butts. That's a good. All right. Pull that right knee over your left leg. Pull that knee in tight. Here we go. Glute stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, right leg out. Left leg up and over. Pull that knee in. Go. All right, left knee out. Pull that left foot in. Keep that right leg straight. You're going to touch your toes on the hamstring. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So bring that right leg in. Extend that left leg out. Hamstring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Beautiful butterflies. Bring both feet in. I call it display out.
And a pleasant good afternoon. We are live once again at the 2024 NBBA World Series of Beep Baseball, presented by Mind's Eye Radio and the St. Louis Lighthouse, and sanctioned by the National Beep Baseball Association. We are back here on field 12. We are now out of the winner's bracket. Those games have ended for the day. We know BSO Philly Fire and the Gateway Archers will play in that winner's bracket final tomorrow morning. So now we are in the elimination bracket. It's winner go home for two teams who we have already featured this week, and now they're matching up head-to-head with their seasons on the line, the Chicago Comets and the Bayou City Heat. We're back at Slicer Complex in St. Charles, Missouri. Field 12, David Benny alongside Rosina Foster. It has heated up a little bit, but the breeze has also picked up, and we've got two teams that right now, one of them will be advancing to tomorrow, still playing their way back up through the elimination bracket, and the other team will be playing for 7th place tomorrow morning. They're going to decide that here over the next couple of hours, Rosina.
We do have both teams up at home plate, ready for the coin toss to decide who's going to be home and away. We're going to have Comets on our left third base side with their red and blue and white jerseys. The Heat is on our third base to our right in their black and orange jerseys. Jordan Simpson is going to be our plate ump here, and she is discussing rules and going over things with the players now right before the coin toss. We had no clouds this morning. We are now getting a healthy sky of clouds and a little bit of breeze, like you said, which has been a blessing, because 2 hours ago it was stagnant, stale, and horrible.
The Chicago Comets got to this game with a win over the Tyler Tigers. I saw some of that game. I was actually doubling as a base operator for that game. Over on Field 5, they beat the Tyler Tigers 9-3, eliminating the Tigers from the championship chase. They played very well on defense and made just enough good hits to be able to take that game. The Bayou City Heat had a tight one, but they got here with a win over the Oklahoma Lookouts.
That was a very close game, inching there for the Heat, just coming out of that, 1 run ahead. And the coin is being tossed. Comets called heads. So we're waiting, and I'm assuming that the Heat would pick home.
Heat won the toss. They will be in the field. The Chicago Comets will be up to bat first. The Chicago Comets, of course, coached by J.T. Herzog in his final season, his last dance as coach of the Chicago Comets. He'll be going in to the Hall of Fame in just a couple of days, but he wants to keep his team around in this tournament for as long as possible. And, of course, for the Bayou City Heat, Fonzie Madrano, he brings the heat. We've seen him twice already this week. The Heat lost once when we saw him, and they won one game when we saw them. So we'll see what happens for the Chicago Comets. A similar lineup to what we have seen all week long, with Rich Schultz, the lefty, leading off, Dustin Youngren batting second, Giovanni Francisi batting third, Lamarian Aldridge, the DH, hits fourth, Alex Gamino batting fifth, and A.J. Gillespie rounding out the order. Daniel Hernandez is the flex player. The defensive specialist will no doubt be playing up short for the Chicago Comets, whose only loss in the double elimination round was to the Indy Thunder yesterday afternoon, and they played remarkably well. The Indy Thunder didn't have a single strikeout in that game, and yet the Comet defense only gave up 14 runs in that game. And speaking of the Indy Thunder, we've had a few upsets. Finally, after 2 days, on our third day of competition, finally the bracket has opened up. First of all, right after we got off the air this morning with that barn burner between Gateway and the Indy Edge, the BSO Philly Fire knocked off the #1 seed Indy Thunder 14-12. Couple of other games of note. 2 teams got their first victories here today ever at the World Series. The Boston Strong, and for the first time in league history, an all-female team won a World Series game when the St. Louis Sirens knocked off the SGV Panthers 2-1. And just a few minutes ago, maybe the upset of the tournament, the Cleveland Scrappers eliminated the Boston Renegades. So the Scrappers are playing the New Jersey Titans in the other elimination game going on right now.
All these athletes, as we have out here, are blind or visually impaired and will be wearing their blindfolds to even the playing field. But when they get home from playing these sports, have you ever struggled to get a job? Or forget that job, what about just getting an interview? If you haven't heard of the Getting Hired Playbook, that's how blind people like you today are getting job interviews left and right, and even better, getting those offers from companies you want to work for. The next GHP training starts in August, so go to accessibilityofficer.com and click on Vocational Rehabilitation. Accessibility is with 2 A's, accessibilityofficer.com. We do have the Heat taking the field as the Comets prepare for their at-bat, leading off with lefty Rich Schultz.
The pitching matchup for this game, it is a good one and an old school one. Two pitchers who've been around for 3 decades in this sport. Chad Perry, he's also going into the Hall of Fame with his coach Herzog this year on one side for the Comets, and of course Fonzie Madrano for the Bayou City Heat. Both teams still relatively healthy. Tanner Gear's a little bit banged up, but he did play earlier, and he is back in his traditional leadoff spot and playing short right. So both teams relatively healthy coming into this game. Again, the winner of this game can finish no worse than 6th. The loser of this game will play for 7th.
Chad having a couple practice tosses there as Rich jokingly reaches out his hand across home plate to grab the pitch as it comes by. Lee Rodriguez, the captain and coach for the Heat, getting a sound off out in the field to see if they are all ready as we prepare to start this game of the day.
We have a nice crowd out here for this game because as we get later and later in the tournament, there is less and less action going around the park. So only a few games going on in this time slot. So we're going to have a nice crowd out here on Field 12, just in front of the pavilion in the headquarters tent here at Slica.
It does look like there's a little bit of a change up on the defensive position for the Heat. Grant Simpson, who is playing deep left, is now over in center, and Noah Finney, who was in center, is now in mid right.
Jordan Simpson says play ball, and play ball we shall in this winner or go home Thursday afternoon game.
And Rich slams it out there into a deep right as he runs for first. They're standing around it. There might be a dead ball call. Not sure. Nobody's even going after it.
Oh, that would be unfortunate.
Oh, no, they've
picked
the ball up, and they're sending it back in, so that's going to be a run.
Good start. One pitch and one nice pull shot for Rich Schultz, and a 1-0 lead for Chicago.
Dustin kneeling down at home plate as he waits for his at-bat.
Dustin Youngren has been hot, hot, hot here over the last couple of days.
Actually gets to claim that White Lightning title.
Yes, he has been. Both on the base paths at the plate and made a put-out or two out in left field as well.
Having a time out here as we wait for another airplane to go over.
And we'll remind you, just following the game, stay tuned as we will announce the Hannigan Team Realty Player of the Game.
Chad back up at the pitcher's mound. Jordan getting the okay from the field. Base check first and third. Chad wiping off a lot of sweat off of his arms. And the ball going just over the top of the bat as he swings that bat all the way around and caught his shoulder with the bat. And it's going to be a line drive out into center. Grant Simpson laying down, bounces over his legs as Dustin runs to third, and he is safe. That's going to be 2 in a row for the Comets.
Once it got past Grant Simpson, you just knew all Dustin Youngren needed to do was hit that base. He's got a lot of speed, and 2 runs in 2 batters now for the Chicago Comets.
Giovanni coming up to the plate, anticipating his addition on the board. We have a Tanner tying his shoe out in the field and coming back into position.
This is a highly motivated Chicago Comets team, of course, in JT's last season. They won it all back in 2003, which was JT's second season as head coach out in Denver, Colorado. Haven't finished better than third since.
High pop-up, and it looks like it's going to be short right, and he's running to third. Tanner coming up with that, and that is going to be out. Had that up, took him a second to pull it away from his body.
JT is challenging, saying there was a double call on Bayou City.
Gonna go over to our first base judge, is where she is heading.
And if in fact it was a double call, that will be a run. We'll see. There was a challenge this morning in our Archer's Edge game, and it was not called a double call.
And she's gonna say he's out.
If the umpire doesn't hear it, it didn't happen.
Jordan. Somebody needs to tell me. Jordan.
Jordan.
I don't have a putout.
There you go.
Thank you.
20
Tanner
short.
Gears.
We have switched to a new scoring system this year, and everybody's still trying to get used to it. They track the depth of the defender and not just their number when they record them on the score sheet.
Well, Marion Aldridge up at home plate with his
Omo, as they call him, and he had a great game. I think he was 4 for 5 or some such against Tyler earlier today.
and the ball a little low under the swing.
He's really improving, Lamarian Aldridge. And if Aldridge rings a bell to any older listeners, Marvin Aldridge, a relative, the late Marvin Aldridge.
And just barely underneath the bat.
I believe Marvin was his uncle, and he was a great player back in the 90s for Chicago beat ball teams. No longer with us, but he was a star.
And just ticking and dropping straight down and rolling to the scorekeeper's table. Resetting up, lining his bat up along home plate for Lamarian. Pop up high and mid into center as he runs for third. Grant Simpson, they're struggling, and he's got it. That is going to be an out.
Got him by a couple of steps. Grant Simpson, good looking rookie, defensive player, and he can hit two, and he makes the play there. That is 2 outs after 2 in for the Comets, just getting going in the top of the first.
1 minute.
So changed up his position there, and not only could he play deep, it looks like he can play center mid as well. It's going to be Alex Gamino up at the plate. Ball coming popping right up off of the bat through the tent.
Just to my left. And I did not move a muscle, folks.
You didn't try for it like last time.
Nope.
Alex giving a nod to Chad. He's ready. It's going to be a pop up into short left as he runs to first. Richie scrambling for that, but he's going to be safe. They did not get to that in time. Alex Camino with another run up on the board for the Comets, taking that to a 3-0 game.
He really hauled it down the baseline there, and he needed to. Half a step slower, and he'd have been out. Instead, that's a big 2-out run. 3 on the board now in the top of the first for Chicago.
A.J.
Gillespie, the 6th place hitter in the lineup. They test the bases to make sure that they're functioning. Now ready.
Chad directing the catcher to adjust her mitt. Just underneath the bat.
Good contact for the Comets so far. 5 for 5. They've made the Heat make plays. One by Tanner Gears and one by Grant Simpson.
bouncing little grounder, just barely making it to Chad, and he's going to come back to home plate as he claps his hands.
Two strikes on the batter.
And it's going to be another strike because that slides under the bat.
So now they're down to one, and they don't take a pitch unless Chad tells them to. So he's going to be swinging.
And that's going to go right over the top of the bat, and that will be an out.
Not a bad inning for the Comets. They put 3 on the board. Runs by Schultz, Youngren, and Alex Gamino. And we go to the bottom of the first. Comets 3, Heat coming up in this win or go home elimination game.
Thank you out there for all our volunteers, our scorekeepers, our base runners, our base judges, field umpires, all the additional help, people running water to keep these players hydrated, spotters, everyone at all out here that is on the complex. Thank you. We could not do this without your support, so thank you to all those volunteers. We do have the Comets taking the field right now. There's Fonzie putting a tape measure up so he can put his spray down in front of home plate.
There are 8 teams still alive for contention in this World Series for the championship anyway. There will be other teams playing placement games, but 8 teams still are in the hunt. After today, there will be but 6. The Indy Edge and Indy Thunder will both be playing 8 o'clock games against the winners of these 2 elimination games going on right now. And then at 11 o'clock, we will have for you the undefeated winners bracket final for the right to play in the championship game on Saturday. It will be the Gateway Archers and the BSO Philly Fire. It will be the first time since 2015 that an Indy team is not involved in that game. History being made here in St. Charles already.
Couple tosses there with Fonzie as Tanner waits patiently at the plate. Again, this is the bottom of the first, 3-0.
The Bayou City Heat made a slight adjustment to the batting order that we're used to. Daryl Miner has been moved down from the 3 spot to the 6 spot, and then the 4, 5, and 6 have been moved up in the order. So Tanner Gears, as usual, will lead off, followed by Grant Simpson, then Noah Finney 3rd, Lupe Perez 4th, Alex Gonzalez 5th, and Daryl Miner 6th.
Just underneath the bat.
Tanner hit a home run yesterday, and he was banging balls in the game we covered in the Heat's heartbreaking loss to the Philly Fire.
Pop up over deep into left as he runs to first.
That's
They're
crushed.
scrambling for it, and that's going to be a run as he swings wide around the base, dancing his way in, strutting his stuff up to Fonzie.
That was pretty much of a no-doubter for Tanner as he continues his hot hand here for the Heat. They're on the board. It's 3-1. I sense it's going to take some runs to win this game.
Grant Simpson up at home plate, tying his shoe as Fonzie makes his way back up to the pitcher's mound. Grant bouncing on his toes as we get a base check. Just barely over the top of that bat. It's going to be a little line drive over to mid-right as he runs for first. Daniel coming up on that, and that is going to be safe.
So, just like the Comets started out with 2 straight runs to open the game, now the Heat have gotten 2 straight to open their half of the first inning. It's 3-2 now.
With Noah Fenney up for the Heat.
These teams know what's at stake in this game. You know, they've been working and practicing, training, competing in local tournaments all since February or March just to get to this World Series. And now they're in a position where the winner will advance, the loser is out.
New ball coming in. We have holding that up for the field.
Christina Smers, one of the Comet spotters, asked for a timeout to allow one of the players to make a blindfold adjustment. They are allowed to do that, but they have to, if you're going to adjust your blindfold in the field, you have to turn your back to home plate. Call time, turn your back to the plate, make the adjustment, and then turn back around, and then you're good to go.
Looks like Dustin is wiping a bit of sweat out of his mask, and he's now turned back around.
This is a good-looking rookie right here, Noah Fenney.
It's going to be just over the top of the bat. And another drop by Fonzie there. It's the third one I've seen him do this week.
Sometimes your hands just you get a lot of perspiration and it just slips.
And a slamming line drive out into left, just past Dungren's arm. As he runs to first, they're headed out there to scramble Lemarian for it, but he's tackled that base. Another run up, tie game, 3-3, Comets Heat.
The Heat have come out banging. None of those runs were cheap either. Just like that, nobody out, and we're in a tie game.
They're singing Noah all the way back into his bench as Lupe Perez will come up to the plate. That was out there. Dustin had laid down. It went right underneath his arms before his body hit the ground. And then sailing past him, Lemarian running back for it, but it was out of sight and he was at the base.
We believe the winner of this game will play the Indy Thunder. I'm going to attempt to confirm that. Here that the back of the brackets would go that way, but I'm going to see if we can get Jerry Wendell to weigh in on that. It'll be an Indy team, we know that. Waiting for one of these teams.
A nice another line drive over to left, just past Rich Schultz this time. Dustin laying down, it's going past him, he runs to third and he slams it, taking the lead 4-3 for the Heat. Lupe pointing at Fonzie as he walks it back in.
Another one to that back line. Dustin's going to get tested in this game. He's going to have to make some of the plays that we saw Grant Simpson make yesterday to keep the Heat in that game against the Fire. Because they're testing that back line right away here. 4 in a row on the board, nobody out.
It's going to bring Alex up for the Heat. Waiting for Fonzie to make his way back to home plate. That ball had to come up from quite a ways.
We have not seen a game played in the 20s yet this week. Everything's been in the single digits and teens. Yeah, it's made a difference. It has cut the scores in half from last year, at least. It's also cut the game times down by about an hour as opposed to last year.
Alex digging in with his back foot there. And the ball a little low. Have a time call from Giovanni out in the field for
we got
this
a plane coming over here.
Nice rumbling loud one, either departing from or arriving to Lambert Airport. believe that was Kalari calling out money for the Comets for the putouts they get.
Would that be considered bribery? Of course,
Well, I
Kalari,
think they're going to want those putouts anyway. She didn't offer them to let a play go.
Of course, Kalari, the longtime Comet, she was with the Sirens this year, and she was just tickled to death that they got their first win this morning. She scored one of the runs. That proved to be the difference in a 2-1 game.
Playing basically past us now.
Now we're good.
Just right there. Just barely missed that. Re-gripping that bottom hand on the bat and winding up. Just a very narrow miss.
He's got another strike to work with.
And that is going to be strike 4 just under the bat. It's going to be the first out there for the Heat, bringing up Daryl Miner.
Daryl dropped to the 6th spot in the order. That actually, I kind of like that. That gives the Heat a little bit more balance. Daryl Miner's a power hitter now at the bottom of that lineup. 4 in, 1 out. Comets still waiting for their first put out of the game.
Daryl with some black and gold shoes as he swings that bat pendulum style across the plate. Asking for a repeat on the first. And it's going to be a grounder short left to Rich Schultz. He's going to be running to third. See if he can get there. Pass went by. And he's got him. Rich Schultz leaned back and re-grabbed that for an out.
Well, he made it interesting, but he did finish the play. And so that's 2 outs now, and back to the top and Tanner Gears. 4-3 Heat, bottom of the first.
Tanner extremely jazzed up, as I have heard him say that this is his last year.
Whether it is or not, he's having an excellent World Series. If it is, he's going out on a high note. If it's not, he still has a lot of game left in it. Hit the first home run. Can you believe that that's the first home run of Tanner Gears' career that he hit on Wednesday? Actually, that was yesterday, yes.
Oh, like just yesterday.
Yesterday was Wednesday. It's been a long week, folks. Seems like forever ago we called our first
for
game.
A new ball. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it seemed quite a while ago.
But when I went back and researched that, I was a little bit surprised because Tanner Gears has been almost every year near the top of the offensive standings, and he's a power hitter, but that was his first home run. He said that's the first one he's been given credit for. But yes. No home runs yet today that I am aware of. So only 2 so far this World Series. We had more than that on the first day of the World Series last year.
Thumbs up on the infield. On the outfield, they like that ball.
We have not had a home run at our Game of the Day field yet, but we did have a spectacular double play yesterday. The Heat were the victims of that.
Tyler Rodriguez.
Yet I heard he was on fire against the Thunder today, too. Tyler is helping carry that team right now.
It's going to be a strike there.
Let's go, Fonz.
Go!
again. It's going to be a grounder far to the left, short. Rich Schultz
They
running
need to
forward
get
as Tanner
this.
goes for first. And he is
Got
going to
him.
be out. They got him
Good play.
seconds before, maybe 2 seconds before he hit first.
That's Rich Schultz again, ranged over there. And so a good finish to the inning after 4 straight runs by the Heat to take the lead. The Comets get out of it with no further damage done. We go to the second. Got a good one cooking early. It is 4-3 Bayou City. Comets coming up.
Bayou is going to go back and take the field there. Bosma Enterprises, navigating blindness. Bosma Enterprises partners with socially responsible companies that have a focus on supplier diversity. We help them expand their sourcing options with high quality goods and services, and these partnerships create jobs for people with vision loss who would otherwise face a 70% unemployment rate. Bosma Center for Visionary Solutions is located in Indianapolis and serves hundreds of clients each year all over the state of Indiana. The experienced staff, more than half of whom are blind, offer personalized programs ranging from counseling to job placement to training for daily living skills. Please, for more information, visit bosma.org.
Did you know it takes approximately 250 beep baseballs to host a World Series? Fonzie Madrano, of course, is the manufacturer and producer of all the beep baseballs for the 2024 World Series, and we'd like to thank our official sponsors for the beep baseballs, Cardinals Care and St. Louis Cardinals, Hannigan Team Realty, there they are again, Major League Baseball supplying funding for kids of our league, including balls and shirts and other giveaways. We couldn't do it without our valued sponsors. Top of the second, Rosina.
Rich Schultz is going to be making his way to home plate. Left-handed batter for the Comets.
Scored leading off the game on a line drive to right. Schultz has been a Comet since 2007. And he is one of those players who got better after the age of 30. He was a late bloomer. It took him a little while. It took him about 6 or 7 years to really get the hang of the game, especially the hitting aspect of it. And ever since, he's been all-star caliber for the Comets.
Ball a little bit high, right landing back in the basket of the used balls.
And as well as the Comets have been playing, they are missing a key starter, Bill Landrum, a last-minute scratch from the World Series. You just wonder how much better they would have been if they'd have had that lefty stick in the lineup.
Definitely missing Bill this year and his notable self. Bouncing grounder center, almost hitting Chad as he runs to third. Noah Fenney with that, and that is going to be an out.
Well, we're used to seeing plays from the one rookie, Grant Simpson, on defense, but now we see one from Noah Finney, the other rookie. Good play, and you always want to get Rich Schultz when you can, and that's one big out for the Heat here in the second. A Youngren, who might be their hottest player. And you know what? No, they don't have Landrum. Yes, they could have used Landrum, but some of these others have really picked up the slack in his absence. Lamarian Aldridge has stepped up. Alex Gamino stepped up. And, of course, Dustin Youngren, who's been doing it the last couple of years. But he got off to a little bit of a slow start this year, was hitting under 400, which in this sport is not great, until really started to figure it out in Champaign, Illinois, when they played a 3-teamer up there in mid-July a couple weeks ago. And he's carried it into the World Series.
He's up at home plate now. Chad stepping up. Exhale.
Yep.
And just a hair early on that as the ball slides under the bat. Clouds are starting to get thicker and just a hair of color to him, not so white.
We'll take it.
Any shade and breeze that we can get. And just over the top of that. And you know, if we're willing to take that breeze, you can imagine that those players out on the field are very grateful for it.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not enough to interfere with the with the bass running or the audio at all. It's just enough maybe to cool you down just a little.
Dustin shaking his head. Readjusts his grip on his bat. An exhale and a lean forward. And just over the top.
You need to get some contact here. It's going to be important to keep Dustin hitting because the Comets have to keep scoring because it doesn't look like Bayou City is going to stop scoring anytime soon here in this 4-3 game here already as we're in the second.
Popping right off into our scorekeeper's lap. She put her hand up to try to block that from her face.
Scorekeeper's got to be tough. We're right behind home plate here. He fouled that one right back to Sylvia.
Dustin shaking that off again.
That sounded in on his hands a little bit. Fouled it straight back. That usually means the timing's perfect, though, when you foul it right back like that.
And right past him for the strike, and that will be out for Dustin Youngren, bringing
That's
Giovanni.
tough. 2 outs already for the Comets. No runs in here in the top of the second. And now it's on big Giovanni Francisi. He has been a Comet since 2004. Him and Rich Schultz are the longest tenured members of the Comets, other than, of course, Chad Perry himself and JT Herzog. Gio missed their world championship by 1 year. His rookie year was the year after the Comets won it all. Gio ended up being the league batting champion 2 years later in 2006, and he's still going strong. If he gets a hold of it, he can still lose one.
It's going to be a bouncing grounder over to short left. Richie
No,
just
that's
trying
not
to
gonna
grab
do
a
it.
hold of it. And he's got it. It's twice now Gio's out just before hitting first. That's going to bring the Heat in.
1, 2, 3 go the Comets in the second, so the Heat hold that 1-run lead, looking to add to it as we go to the bottom half. They will have Grant Simpson, Noah Finney, and Lupe Perez due up.
Heat coming in for that, and just like to go over, the ball does have to hit 40 feet before that is fair. Don't want outfielders running up.
All of the fielders are required to wear a blindfold, and so that's why you have that 40-foot line, lest they charge right up into the pitcher, who is standing at 20 feet, pitching for the offensive team, kind of like coach pitch. The bases are 100 feet down either baseline, first and third. There is no second base. When the ball is hit, one of those 2 bases will be randomly activated, and the runner will go sprinting down that baseline. If he hits the base before the fielders pick up the ball, it is a run. If the fielders pick up the ball first, it is a putout. Simple as that. No singles, doubles, or triples. Everything is a run or an out. There's 6 innings to a game. Of course, 6 players per side. You can use a designated hitter and a designated fielder, or flex, if you will, and both teams have exercised that option. In fact, you just saw Richie Flores, the designated fielder for the Heat, make that final putout.
Have a sound off out in the field by the Comets as they are set and preparing for the second inning as we're at the bottom. Getting a base check for Grant Simpson.
The Comets spotters are Christina Smears in left, and I believe that is Aaron Gord in right.
I can't see anyone to. I have a water jug blocking a
Well,
portion.
and her number's probably on her back, so unless she turns around.
It's going to knock down foul on the left. Daniel was ready to come charging up on that. He's in short center right now instead of over on the right. And a bouncing grounder over onto the left. Rich Schultz, bounced off his body. He's running to first, but he's got him. It's out.
Close play. Richie's second effort on that one, and Schultz makes the play by about a step. One out.
So no run for the Heat.
Noah Finney, who's already scored and recorded a putout in this game, so he's checked in on both sides of the ball as we play here in the bottom of the second. One out. Bayou City Heat leading 4-3. Winner advances to tomorrow. Loser will play for 7th place.
So somewhere between his last at bat and this one out on defense, Noah Finney did have a small tear in his pants, but it looks like down along his calf that he's caught that and torn that when he was doing his defensive play, I would imagine, out there.
These players are diving on the fields all week long, and yes, the uniforms and equipment can take a beating.
Just underneath the swing. You hear that whoosh, though.
He's a big strapping lad, only, 18 years old?
At the most.
He's got a lot of power behind that swing.
And smashing line drive down to left. Oh, Dustin jumped the wrong way, recovering as he runs to first. And that is going to be safe.
Dustin needed to wait an extra second and give it a listen, and on these fields you can afford to do that, but
I think when he jumped toward the left to the baseline, landed on his shoulder. He's holding his shoulder now, and it had sailed just past his feet, so he had to turn around to go back after that.
let's hope he's all right. They can ill afford to lose him at this juncture.
He's stretching that shoulder out now out on the field.
This is not the deepest team, the Chicago Comets. They've got a good solid core of starters, but they do not have a long bench, especially without Landrum.
Lupe Perez up at the plate, waiting for the adjustment out in the field on defense. Dustin still rubbing that shoulder.
Aches and pains from all of the beep ball over the last 3 days. These
And
teams
more to
played
come.
3 on Tuesday, 2 yesterday, and this is their second today.
Nice tapping foul on the left.
It takes its toll on the body. That's 7 games in about a 54-hour period. It's a lot of ball.
Line drive on the left, just to underneath Richie's shoulder as he runs over to first. Dustin trying to grab it, and let me see what the call is. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a run.
It's a run.
Yep, that's going to take them up 6-3.
We said Dustin was going to get worked over there. He's getting worked. Richie Schultz is getting worked. There's been nary anything to the right side of this field for the Bayou City Heat here early. They are going strictly middle and left, it would appear.
He's going to bring Alex back up to the plate. See if he can get a run in. After that strikeout, his last up. Bat resting on his shoulder.
Comets need an out. Bayou City starting to get a little separation here, and they are the home team.
Fonzie almost thought, I think he was going to get hit. He hopped out of the way. Alex paused for a second, grabbed the end of his bat before re-gripping the handle. high pop fly deep into center as he runs for third, past all of them. He misses the base. He's going to have to come back.
That might be a home run. Rosina,
I believe that was a home run.
Still has to touch the
there's
base.
a lot of hugs. He did come back and touch. They're going to be checking that one. I'm pretty sure that is.
Fonzie thought so right away. The Heat bench is going
saying
crazy.
we hadn't got to see one. Maybe teammate Tanner will not be alone with the Heat in a home run.
That is not the player, frankly, that I would have expected to do it for Bayou City, but that was a crank.
And it is official home run.
Home run
for
Alex Gonzalez. Third home run of the series, the first one we've got to call. Put 2 on the board for the Heat.
8-3 Heat, bottom of the second.
Second home run of the series pitched by Fonzie Medrano. He brings the Heat. 8-3 Bayou City, and that is huge.
Daryl Miner up at the plate. That was a cracking hit, echoing across the field.
Yes.
How far was that? Do we have enough visual?
He did come back and touch the base, you said, though, right? Technically, they have 30 seconds on a home run to touch the base.
Yes.
Anything over 171 is good by me.
Wow, that was a blast.
Blast from the crack of home plate and Alex Gonzalez.
You have a pin? What's a pin?
And they're going to have to get a new ball on that one.
Oh, I have a pin.
Alex Gonzalez, with that mammoth blast, messed that ball up.
You know, he's got to be sitting pretty happy over there on the bench right about now, DB.
He would probably be the last of those 6 players that you would expect to hit one. He's fairly new. He's not exactly known for that kind of pop, but he demonstrated it there.
When he can hit, he can hit, is what I have been told on the Heat.
Well, we just saw it right there. Home runs are hard to come by.
More breeze coming in as Daryl steps up with that bat swinging over the plate.
Can't do that, Daryl. Let's go, Cool Breeze.
So if you hit a home run, you get a game ball. So he'll get his home run ball. That's the other reason they're taking that out of play, and so that Alex Gonzalez can keep that ball. He'll never forget it.
Fonzie wiping the sweat off of his face and off the ball.
Wow. So you can add his name to Caleb Wright and Tanner Gears.
And just...
Now Daryl Miner. He hit a couple home runs in his younger days.
Just catching the edge of that and dropping straight down.
I remember one home run that Daryl Miner hit, and I think it was in Columbus, Georgia in 2013. I remember at the time thinking it was the longest ball I had ever witnessed hit.
It's going to be another strike, a little on the outside edge.
Now, Justin Holland may have equaled that or surpassed it with one he hit in the championship game that you called a couple of years ago. The first one.
The first one of his.
Was about 15 feet past the line from what I've heard.
Ready for the pitch. Popping up foul over to the Heat bench.
There's only one out in this inning. And a 5-run lead already here for the Heat. This is trouble for the Comets. They're not known for as a high-scoring team. They're more known for their defense and good fundamentals.
Pop up again over into mid-center as he runs to third. Rolled over Dustin's body, and that's going to be another run for the Heat. It's like they don't stop.
Fonzie Medrano and the Heat offense is percolating right now. 9 on the board already. Still only 1 out in the second inning. And now you're back to the top of the lineup. This is trouble for the Chicago Comets.
So, are you taking any hints that we might actually see 20 in this game? We're at 9 already.
We'll see. We'll see. I still have my doubts, but I mean, if they keep hitting 2-for-1s there, might get there quicker than we think. You know, you've been privileged on your Game of the Day calls to call several home runs.
Quite a
in this
few.
your 4th season doing this. Corey White, Justin Howland a couple of times. You were in here for this one here, of course, today.
It's mighty nice to see the home runs. Tanner gears up at the plate, ready for the pitch. Tanner stepping back, he's not ready.
In football, we would call that a false start. And it would cost you 5 yards. Here, no harm, no foul.
It's going to be a strike because that goes under the bat. Fonzie correcting him a little bit, opening up, and to him just a hair. And just a little on the inside. They are swinging to kill.
They got nothing to lose here, up by 6. And there is no tomorrow if you lose. Well, there is, but you're playing a placement game. Playing back through the elimination bracket is hard, but not impossible.
And pop flies dead center as he runs to third, past Alex, past Dustin, and that's going to be another run for the Heat. Now hitting double digits.
Yeah, you can't field what you can't catch, and this isn't really on the Comets defense. They're just crushing balls right now like crazy off of Fonzie.
We have an outfielder defensive timeout as JT heads out to the field.
It's probably a good timeout, as it's as much to slow down this Heat offense as it is to circle the wagons for his own team here, as now they're down 7, still only 1 out in the bottom of the second.
Also taking water jugs out there. They have been out there for quite a while, and they're running distances after these balls that are just being smashed out into the field.
It is a long road back, but again, not unprecedented. One of these teams, in order to play in the championship game, would have to not only win this one here today, but 3 games tomorrow to get to Saturday. The most famous example of that probably was the 2017 Indy Thunder, who lost a quarterfinal game on Thursday morning to the San Antonio Jets and then turned around and won 7 straight to defend their championship, including 2 wins on Championship Saturday over Taiwan. They parlayed that into a full-length documentary film, Thunder Rolls. So it is rare, but it hasn't been known to happen.
It's not impossible. JT out there huddled up with his team as they're all drinking water on the field. A few ball tosses there between Fonzie and LJ as Grant Simpson waits patiently at home plate.
And we will remind you that we couldn't do what we're doing today without our volunteers, umpires, scorekeepers, base judges, base operator. I got to double as a base operator earlier today in the Comets Tyler game for a few innings. Don't think I had any late bases. And so we appreciate all of that, and we appreciate the help behind the scenes on our game of the day, the camera work by Cam the cameraman, and all of your production, audio, and video work from Graham, Mathena, and Live Event Productions.
So we have basically most of the outfielders set back up. JT's back on the bench. Christina just setting up a few last minute placements there with Dustin and moving Richie back and over a hair.
And now we're going to have a plane. Maybe. No, I don't think it's coming
one
our
in
direction.
the distance, getting that base check.
Oh, they're ready to go here.
Line drive down to the center left as he runs for third. Dustin getting that one, and it is going to be out. Maybe that discussion with JT, where half of it's just that it was in a location he could get to.
And that's why he's a soon-to-be Hall of Fame head coach. Now, I don't think that defensive timeout slowed the Heat down any, because that was solid first pitch contact, but Dustin Youngren made a play. 2 outs.
This brings Noah Fenney up to the plate again for the Heat. Probably itching to feel.
This is tough. You've really got to dig down deep at this time of day, especially on an inning that's been long like this, where the Comets have just sort of been cooking out there in the field as balls have been flying past and over them. But it's still early. A lot of beat ball left to be played here in this game.
Pop up short foul on the right.
The future of this team looks bright. They had to retool after they lost the likes of Joe Fleeks and Ja'Cory Wiley. Mike Coughlin they had last year, he's no longer there, and so they went out and got Simpson and Finney, and they're developing Alex Gonzalez.
Almost tipping over as he swings all the way around.
The future could be very bright for Fonzie and this Bayou City Heat ball club, and Noah Finney is a big part of it.
Again, another line drive fly over there as he runs to first. It's way out of there, running for it, and that's going to be another run up for the Heat. Starting to sound like Heat, Heat, Heat.
The only way you know, if you can maybe get in the way of that, knock it down by accident maybe, but that was a rope. 11-3. Bayou City feeling it over there on the first base sideline, and a very quiet Chicago Comets sideline on the third base side. This has been a damaging inning. 7 runs in.
Lupe Perez up at the plate. Christina adjusting. Lemarian out in deep center.
And
JT out coming on to the field.
He's going to check one of his players. Is that Dustin again out there? Dustin
might be bringing, let's see, Lemarian's moving over toward the edge of the field. Might be having a substitution here with number 20.
Is that Mike McGlashan
Mike
they're going to bring in?
McGlashan.
The old Hall of Famer, 2017 Hall of Fame inductee, Mike McGlashan.
Not sure if it's going to be a final sub or if we're just checking.
He is the other tenured member of the Chicago Comets. Been there since 1999, my rookie year.
Lemarian getting some water, and they're fanning him with a hat. Looks like they might be walking him out.
Well, they haven't reported the substitution here to the scorer's table yet.
JT is still checking on him. Kind of all huddled up around there.
They don't want to lose Lemarian's bat.
They don't, but they also want to keep their players healthy.
Yes, you got to be healthy and you got to be safe. And while we have a moment, want to recognize the Executive Committee of the National Beat Baseball Association, Treasurer John Lykowski, Secretary Steve Guerra, Second Vice President and new NBBA President-elect Richie Flores, First Vice President, Tournament Director Cassie Hopkins behind me over at headquarters tent. She's been there all week from the opening of the park until the close of the last game, doing a great job for us. The President of the National Beat Baseball Association is Jerry Wendell.
Marian's getting a spray bottle treatment all the way around his head, neck, face, the back of his neck from water as Michael walks him back to his position, and Michael's coming back off the field with JT, so it looks like he will be staying out there.
False alarm, false alarm. So Lemarian will stay in the game for now.
So Lupe will now come back from the bench to home plate.
And you wonder how this delay, there's been one already for a defensive timeout, you wonder how this delay might affect the Heat, if at all.
If at all.
I mean, they have been in fuego since this game began. And again, almost all of it middle and left. You tell me if you can recall, maybe Finney might have hit one over, but I don't think anything's really gone to right field.
Gone right. Yeah.
They're all righties and they're all pulling Fonzie.
Have that base check, and we're going to be ready for the pitch. Short pop up, caught by Fonzie in his mitt.
He's on the top of their bat. These, even the foul balls are going in the air. They're not ground balls here at this point.
Wiping his hand off in the grass there a little bit. Lupe stepping back off of home plate. Pulling that bat up over the shoulder. And just a hair early. Lupe not concerned at all, very casual.
He is the ultimate warrior of beat baseball. Has scored more runs than any other player in history at the World Series. Over 300.
It's going to be a little bouncing short grounder, short on the left. Daniel coming up over for that as he runs. He's going to have him out.
Solid play by the defensive specialist, the flex player for the Comets, and that's the inning, but it was a big one. And you can verify this for me, but it looks like we are at 11-3 headed to the third.
That is what I have as well, 11-3 as we open up to the top of the third. And those Comets were out there for a long time. Hey, Philly, are you hungry? I know that our outfielders probably are. S&J's Catering is a premier catering business founded in 2017 by a blind entrepreneur whose vision transcends sight. S&J's Catering LLC exemplifies resilience, creativity, and dedication. Specializing in a diverse range of cuisines, S&J's Catering brings a gourmet dining experience to any event, whether it's an intimate gathering or a corporate function. From the initial consultation to the final bite, we take pride in making every occasion special with our dedicated and professional approach to catering. Hey Philly, are you hungry? Call 215-284-7485.
Well, the Comets offense needs to get hungry here with their season on the line, trailing by 8. Heading to the top of the third, they'll have the bottom part of their order due up, starting with Marion Aldridge.
See if also his time after he gets this bat, maybe sitting on the bench, will help him having that break from that long stand out and far deep center there, maybe recovering some of that exhaustion that he might be suffering, since they were seeming to try to keep him quite hydrated.
Looking ahead, action gets going again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We will not have a game of the day in that slot, but you can check out the local teams' live streams. We know the Indy Thunder will be streaming theirs, and I imagine so will the Edge as well. And then we will have our first one, the winner's bracket final at 11 tomorrow morning, Fire and Archers.
Oh, almost taking off Chad's head as it goes over deep center, flying to first. They're scrambling for the... Let's see what we're going to have on this. That was
JT thinks
close.
There was another double call. I think if the play stands, it's an out. Let's see if she heard this one.
She's coming over to check with the first base judge.
It is so tough for the umpire because if you don't hear it, you can't really call it. And that's not something you would expect your base judges to be listening for necessarily. Sometimes they'll think there's a double call, but it was actually a player doing a number zone correction. This is the second time they've challenged.
They're going out to check with the field ump, trying to And that is
And
going to
this
be
time
safe.
they are going to call him safe. Good start to the third for the Comets. It's 11-4 now.
It's going to have Alex Camino up at the plate. Checking to see if the field is all base check. Chad's head bobbing back and forth. And a short little grounder into short left if it makes it fair. And that will be foul, which is almost to the base. Richie Flores right up on top of that. I'll have to wait. Alex walking it back up to home as our third base judge goes to re-upright third base, as Alex had taken that out. And trying for a do-over, but keeping it fair.
You had the right instinct on these popsicles. I'll have to wait for mine as well. They didn't bring me a pocket knife with which to open it. I'm not going to mess with it. Here we go, back to action.
Alex Camino nodding that he's ready for Chad. And catching just the very bottom edge of that bat and then dropping down. Pop up into short center as he runs to first. Richie running over there to grab it, and he's got it. That's going to be an out. Richie Flores coming over from left to center. They mean business. They like that lead they have.
Yes, they do, and Richie ranged over quite a bit to make that play. 1 out, 1 in, still a 7-run lead.
AJ Gillespie.
Thank you.
All right, give me AJ, come on.
Yeah, Comets need to make a little bit more of a dent in this lead, with the Heat being the home team. Now, Rich Schultz
Starts
will get
with
an
one.
at-bat here regardless of what happens. You'd like to see some production from the bottom of the lineup, but this is the replacement for what would have been Bill Landrum if he had been here and been in the lineup. This is a fairly new player here. Let's see if he can come up big. It would be a real pick-me-up for the Comets if he could score.
Just underneath and on the outside edge of the bat. And just barely underneath. And he's going to hit a line drive short to left, right to Richie, almost between his legs, as Richie tosses that ball up in the air. Thought he was all done and running in, and he caught himself. Oh, I have to go back.
Richie likes room service, and that was a little bit of it right there, right to him. 2 outs, and I don't blame him for at first thinking there was 3 because the 1 run was on that overturned call. But there are 2 outs now, and back up to Rich Schultz, the lefty, and the Comets need a run from him right now in the worst way.
Motorcycle going back by behind us, and we should be good now. And a little high, coming right up over the top of the bat. another speedster going by on the highway. Motorbike. They just might be in a hurry.
Yeah, that thing was really moving.
Rich resetting his bat along the front of home plate. Left-handed batter. Just catching the edge of it, and it's going to go foul on the right.
Rich 1 for 2 so far today. He scored his first time up. Was out his second time up.
And catching on the edge as it goes into short left as he runs for first. Richie getting room service again. This time he can run in as he has that out.
That's a miss hit, and that is a hat trick, if you will, for Richie Flores. All 3 putouts for the Heat defense, and the Heat have really taken charge in this game, leading 11-4 as they come to bat in the bottom of the third. They are 5 runs away right now from that dreaded 12-run rule.
They are close. I do see Lemarion getting ready to go out, so when that rest might have done him a little good as he looks a little fresher than when he came off the field. JT doing a little mini huddle over there, if you will, before they head on out to the field. Heat completely riled up and ready to go and widen this gap. Make sure that if you are out here at the field, whether you are playing or volunteering, that you stay hydrated, drinking water, pouring water on you. Stay hydrated, folks.
Yes, it is. Heat exhaustion and heat stroke are nothing to play with. You can go from feeling really good to being in some serious trouble awfully quick. Thankfully, the temperatures have stayed, at least for this time of year, and what we have seen over the last few years of the World Series, temperatures have been relatively moderate, and we've had a minimum of heat-related issues so far at this World Series. But right now, the heat-related issue is Fonzie and the Bayou City offense. 11 runs in the first 2 innings, one of them a homer.
They are absolutely on a fire with their heat as they bring Alex up to the plate, looking to see if he can duplicate his homer from earlier.
Well, what you worry about with young players, again, I mentioned it before, when they hit a home run, sometimes you go up there with that in your head and you're trying to do it again, and then you start overswinging and you're inconsistent, and the next thing you know, you're sitting down on a strikeout. So if, the best thing Alex Gonzalez can do right now is forget about that home run until after the game and just focus on doing whatever it was he did last time to swing the bat and get the connection he got, because that was a perfect hit.
Getting that base check as the field is ready. I think they're going to have Chicago might have a sub soon. Alex ready for the pitch. Just barely on the inside of that bat.
And he was early. He jumped him, and that's what we talk about. Sometimes you just raring to try to hit another one.
We have a timeout called.
We are consulting with the scorekeeper about something. Coach Herzog is over here. There was a
questioning on whether this was a substitution, but no, Alex has been in from the beginning.
Yeah, he hit a home run, so yeah, he's been in.
The cloud cover is getting heavier. It's almost shady now. Alex pulling the bat back and at the ready. bouncing little short grounder over to right. Daniel going to be snatching that right up, and that's an out for Daniel Hernandez.
Taking advantage of that opportunity, the Heat haven't put a lot of balls on the ground here early in this game. One out. And you got Daryl Miner coming to the plate.
Daniel's basically standing right behind Fonzie there, just coming right up so he can go either direction to help out short.
Daryl Miner is one of the few players left on the Heat that was on that World Championship team of 2002. They won the title the year before the Comets did, and neither of these teams have won a title since. It was their one and only. Daryl Miner was a big part of that 2002 team that did it up in Glenview, Illinois. Fonzie was on that team, and Lee Rodriguez, who's not a starter in this game, a left-handed veteran, he was on that team. That's about it. All of those others have since retired. You remember names? Well, Blake Boudreau hasn't retired. He was a starter on that team. His dad was coaching that team. Blake's with the Houston Hurricanes now. That was Chuck Boudreau's team in 2002. Names like Bill Young, John Thibodeau was on that team. They could hit and hit and hit some more. And not much has changed.
Say it sounds like a repeat of what we're going through now. Daryl winding up that bat. Just on the lower edge of that bat.
Well, the Heat and the forerunners to the Heat, the Houston Bombers, they always could hit. When they struggled sometimes, it was because they didn't play much defense, although Richie Flores has certainly helped out with that since he's come over. He's had an excellent season and Grant Simpson and his development really shored up the Heat, especially on the left side of their defense. And that's why they're still in the hunt.
A little grounder that just drops 10 feet out.
We will have 2 games tomorrow. We've already told you about the 11 o'clock, and then the elimination bracket final to find out who that second team in the championship game. That will be the 2 o'clock game right back here tomorrow, all culminating on Saturday. There's
going to be a grounder short center, bouncing off Daniel's hands, but he
nice
just
play.
has it, and that's another out by Daniel Hernandez, 2 in a row.
Solid play as the Comets defense trying to keep them in this game. First 2 outs recorded here in the bottom of the third. It's still a 7-run game, 11-4, as Tanner Gears comes back up, back to the top of the Heat lineup.
Let's go, Tanner. Get it started.
Tanner easing off home plate, gripping that bat.
So 2 straight ground balls. That's the first time we've really seen that from the Heat so far today.
Getting a base check as the field is ready. Fonzie hopping up and down. Tanner winding up and rotating that bat over his shoulder. That's going to be a pop short and left. Bounced off Rich Schultz's feet as Tanner runs for third. He's struggling to recover it, but that is safe. He's completely taken the base apart.
Boy, he destroyed that base, but I'll tell you what, Rich Schultz, again, he was where he needed to be, and the ball just took a bad deflection.
It was hard enough. It just bounced right off of his feet. Tanner limping just a little as he comes in. Maybe an ankle. Seems like he's walking that off.
It is physically demanding, this here tournament.
So that's going to make it now 8-run, 12-4 for the Heat at the bottom of the third. Still putting back together third base as Grant Simpson comes and heads up to the plate.
So they got the run back that the Comets scored on that questionable reversal, double call, if you will. It's an 8-run game, 2 outs. And Simpson coming up, the second spot in the order for Bayou City.
And even more of a breeze pulling in, more cloud cover. We haven't had any of the torrential downpours that we've had recently in World Series either.
No, but this is about as dark as we've seen it, isn't it, so far here in the last couple of days?
Almost on that one.
It actually feels very pleasant out here now as the wind's picked up.
Bouncing grounder, don't know if that's going to make it fair. Nope, that's going to be short too much by about 8 feet.
He didn't want it anyway. Boy, this is a gorgeous facility here. Slicer Complex, St. Louis Youth Soccer Association, beautiful park. And the sponsors for securing the park, Bill Jones and Sue Slocum and Mr. Mark, Richard Mark, not to be confused with Richard Marx. He's a great rock singer. Ameren, Illinois, the power company. Those are your field sponsors.
Asking for a hold up of the ball out in the field. Traffic has picked up on the highway out behind the field, so it's getting a little bit louder back there.
Yeah, that's the loudest I've heard that. I wonder if it's because the wind is blowing from that direction for the first time, but I did not notice that traffic noise until you just mentioned it. You never know with acoustics, you know, when the wind changes direction, sometimes it can blow sound. But that is as loud as I have heard
A little bit of
it.
extra wind and then almost a touch of moisture in the air, making that sound really carry. Getting a new ball tossed out. Fonzie holding that one up to see if outfield likes that one. He says that's good, and giving it a couple tosses to LJ.
Well, you've mentioned S&J Catering, but we've had some other great food sponsors here at this World Series.
Raising Cane's has brought us delicious lunch yesterday, well as lemonade.
Emo's Pizza served us at the opening ceremonies and Wool Game on Monday.
Jersey Mike's with sandwiches for us on Tuesday.
And Tucano's Brazilian Grill, a dinner for two for the first home run.
And it's going to be a grounder right in the center. Went past Daniels. He runs to first. They're not coming up on it. I think they said safe, but I think they might be calling dead ball. Nobody went for it after it went past Daniel. So we're going to have to hold off. I'm not going to record that.
We'll see, but that is, wow, is that loud now back there? We have not had this all week long. That is extremely noisy.
First base. There we go. Now she's going to see if she can hear that. Dead ball, so that will not count. Grant coming back up as we just got that ball out, and he slammed into that. Took a bite out of it.
Well, they'll have to get a new ball, and he's going to get a new pitch.
We're talking about all that delicious food, and he got a little hungry for beat ball there.
He gets a new pitch, but not a new count. There was a rule proposal that didn't make it onto the ballot this year to try to change it back to a new count. That was rejected by the delegation, and so it stays the way it is. You get a new pitch, but the count stays the same at whatever it was, although, was that the first pitch of the at-bat? It may have been. This game has frankly slowed to a crawl. As they try to find a new ball here.
We did just get 3 that were brought out. Cassie had brought in for us. Fonzie headed back to the pitcher's mound to hold up his Fonzie ball for the outfield to approve. And Grant bat up at the ready. Short little pop-up into mid-center as he runs to first. And that is going to be safe. He's going to get that run that he tried almost with the same placement.
Perfectly placed ball. JT not too happy with the middle of his Comet defense right now, saying that they should have had that one.
It's going to take that to a 13-4 game. And Noah Fenney coming up to the plate as we're at the bottom of the third.
Comets need to get an out in one of these next 3 batters, or we are going to be in a 12-run situation. And none of it's going to be easy, as you got Finney and then Lupe Perez and Alex Gonzalez scheduled here.
A quick shoe tie here for Noah Fenney at home plate as Daniel moves over to be almost dead center right, straddling that line running down the middle of the field. Re-grabbing of the bat, getting the okay out in the field, and a base check. And a line drive out into center deep, bouncing off Dustin's arm as Noah runs to third. They're scrambling for it. Oh, they're saying he's out. Dustin got it up in time.
They're both cheering, but I think that Jordan Simpson called it out.
And Comets are heading in. That is going to maintain that out.
Nice play, Dustin Youngren. And so a 9-run lead. It could have been worse. They only got 2 runs of that inning, did the Heat. So it's 13-4 halfway through the game. Comet offense needs to get cranked up here.
AccessibilityOfficer.com, our All-Star Club Game of the Day sponsor. Have you ever struggled to get a job? What about just getting that interview? If you haven't heard of the Getting Hired Playbook, that's how blind people like you today are getting job interviews left and right, and even better, job offers from companies they want to work for. The next GHP training starts in August, so go to accessibilityofficer.com and click on vocational rehabilitation. Accessibility is with 2 A's. Accessibilityofficer.com.
And there are several fundraising opportunities here going on at the World Series. 50-50 raffle tickets are being sold right up through the banquet. And at the banquet on Saturday night, hit up Mike Woodard or Rayleigh or Kara to get your tickets. They are, as I recall, $1 a piece and 6 for $5.
So speaking of that last out put out by Dustin Younger, and he's now going to be heading to the plate for the Comets as they start the top of the 4th, and that noise from the highway is still getting louder and louder.
It sounds like rush hour traffic in St. Charles, Missouri here. We're in the suburbs of St. Louis. This is the loudest we've heard it all week long.
Dustin kneeling at home plate before nodding his head and getting up.
Also, John Lykowski Jr. is selling NBBA 2025 calendars featuring photos of some of our elite players. $15 a piece. You can pick those up from our social media specialist, John Lykowski Jr. of Lykowski Studios in Chicago.
Getting a piece off that as it goes short into left. Richie running for that as Dustin runs first. Richie's not going to make it in time. That's going to be a run for Dustin and the Comets. Richie army crawling to get there, trying to get his hands on it, not quite in time.
So here's the thing, with that traffic noise, this is tough fielding conditions, but it's tough for both teams. And so this is might benefit the offense a little bit, and at least until either the wind changes direction or this slows down a little bit here.
Dustin was slowly walking in. Looks like he was holding his hand after hitting that base. Coming in slow over around in front of Giovanni as he waits at home plate.
So that makes it 13-5. Yeah, they say the road back starts with that first step. There's that first step for the Comets. Nobody out. Giovanni at the plate.
just underneath the outer edge of his bat. Bouncing little grounder short and center as he runs for first. They're scrambling for it. And he is out, and that is going to be Richie Flores again.
Ground balls are not Giovanni Francise's game, and that was a relatively, well, I mean, I won't call it an easy play, but
they were both scrambling, but they
Yep.
did get it in time.
So that's one out, one in the top of the fourth. And with every out recorded, the Bayou City Heat inch closer to surviving and advancing to another elimination game tomorrow morning. Comets are starting to run out of time a little bit here. Down 8 with 8 outs left to play with.
Base check on first and third. Ready for that pitch. Just over the top of the bat.
Omo's had a good game today, and he's been battling hard through whatever was going on
Out in the field.
out in the field. He could use a run from him here.
Just on the inside underneath the bat.
I wonder what the batsman thinking. They are down by 8 points.
Just catching and rolling over the top of that bat straight to the catcher's mitt. Just barely missing that.
Tough. That's a strikeout. There hadn't been
Tough
many
one.
of those in this game for Chad Perry, and that was not the time for one there. That's second out of the inning. Only one run in this frame.
Bringing Alex up to the plate.
Alex Gamino. Gamino, you know, the Comets they've got veterans over there, but they got some good young players with Youngren and Aldridge and Gamino.
It's AJ now.
We're not even seeing Tejera, Gerardo, who was injured. He's another one of their good young players. They'll be searching for a head coach next year.
Just underneath the bat. Just taking a little nibble on it as it drops down. Tanner getting a timeout so he can turn around and wipe all the sweat off his face.
That was a
under
good
his
time for it
blindfold.
anyway, because here comes Plane.
So he has now turned back around, thumbs up, pointing up now to the plane. Alex resting bat at easy on the shoulder.
Remind you, the presenting sponsors of the NBBA World Series, Mind's Eye Radio and the St. Louis Lighthouse for the Blind. Eric Warnhoff has been here all week from the Lighthouse, and of course Jason Frazier has been running around here all week, Mind's Eye CEO, helping put on the tournament.
Just over the top of the bat.
Comets struggling to make some contact here all of a sudden. Even their run wasn't hard hit.
Over the
And
top, and
another
that's going to be
strikeout.
another out, and that's going to send them back out to the field. Heat coming in to bat as they lead 13-5, heading into the bottom of the fourth. Chicago doing another quick huddle before they go out to the field again. Defense, they're not going to want to stay out there as long as they were out last time.
No, and now they're down 8, so here we are again. 4 runs for the Heat. And that's nothing for them, but if they were to get that, we'd be in the 12-run rule. We haven't seen on our field any 12-run rule games
Haven't
yet.
seen any 12 runs.
Not even close, really. The biggest margin of victory we saw was the Tyler and New Jersey game, but New Jersey pulled away late in that. That game was close for the first 3 or 4 innings.
It's going to start off the Heat. Lupe Perez up at the plate as Christina is placing all her defense.
I have 13-5. Is that what you have, Rosina?
I have 13-5.
Okay. It's tough because you got to add 1 because of the home run that counted for 2. So I'm doing a little extra math here today, thanks to Alex Gonzalez and Fonzie Madrano, who connected for a blast in the 2nd inning.
It made us use our brains, though.
And that 2nd inning really has been the difference in the game, that 7-run 2nd inning that the Heat scored.
They had 7, and they didn't allow the Comets any earlier in that.
And right now it's an 8-run spread as the Heat come up here in the bottom of the 4th.
Sounding off out in the field by the Comets. Lemarian is still out there in deep left.
We want to remind you, looking ahead, the 2025 World Series of Beep Baseball will be right back here at Slice in St. Charles next July.
Kind of wondering what kind of suspenseful items might be in store for us after Jackie Joyner Kersey.
Well, I hear we may have Benji
Reginald
Molina
on Saturday.
World champion catcher, former
Lupe
catcher.
Perez sailing a grounder down on the left, just past Rich Schultz's hands. And Lupe just running kind of somewhat into the field, did not hear the base. Rich Schultz going back and grabbing that and having the out.
He must not have heard the base because Lupe's been doing this a long time, and if he runs an errant base, then something's awry. He usually will not.
He's shaking his head as he walks back. He knows something was off.
This is frustrating, and it must be the wind direction because we've been at this field all week long, and we haven't had this kind of noise. Not from traffic.
Disappointing run there for Lupe as he shook his head coming in, but the veteran he is, he's just shaking it off. Next batter, which is Alex Gillespie.
This makes me a little bit concerned for what we're going to have for the championship game and the undefeated game tomorrow as far as noise over here.
Some of it's going to depend on the time of the day. We did start late today.
That's true. Although I will say we started a little bit late with the game on yesterday, the 2 o'clock game, and we didn't hear all of this yesterday. No.
Pop up, fly high and deep into center as he runs to third. They're trying to find it. It was there within their reach, just not getting it. Dustin down on the ground, went past him. Lemarian's trying to get to it, but Alex has already landed and tackled third. Run for the Heat.
Yeah, he got all of that one, though. Defense made a good play on the ball, but that's going to ordinarily be a run. That was popped. Now we've got a 9-run lead.
14-5 with Daryl Miner up at the plate. Still putting together third base. They keep tearing it apart into pieces.
Boy, Alex Gonzalez, that's his 2nd hard hit. Not quite as long as the home run ball he hit earlier, but he's really popping them right now.
And off deep and far to our right, out away from us, I do see quite a bit of haze in the sky like it is raining. So that could be carrying a lot of the sound issues. All that moisture in the air. Daryl Miner ready for the pitch. There's
only one one out here. And you've got Tanner Gears looming in the on-deck circle. Comets probably want to get an out here. This match is the largest lead of the game for the Heat at 9.
Going foul to the right, over to the Heat bench. Now with that little extra breeze and all that moisture in the air off to our side, could definitely be playing with the sound. It's gonna be another strike.
You get 4 strikes in beep ball. You can take one if you choose. It's called a pass ball. You don't have to, and the Heat rarely do it, although we've seen them a couple of times, more than in the past. There was a long time there where they never took a pitch off of Fonzie.
And pop up mid-left, just bouncing around Rich Schultz as Daryl runs to third, and that's going to be another run for the Heat.
And that's a play that earlier in the week maybe Rich Schultz makes. You're starting to see the accumulation of beep ball start to catch up now here on Thursday afternoon after 7 games in 2 days, 3 days. And what you got to do if you're the Comets now is you really got to dig deep. This is your season. This is your coach's last year. You've played really well, but now it's a 10-run cushion. Still only one out, top of the Bayou City Heat order. We're closing in on that 12-run rule. If we get there, I will explain. Can kind of be a tricky rule if you're not used to beep baseball. It's our version of a mercy rule.
Definitely tell the frustration there. Rich Schultz slammed his hands down into his thighs, put his hands up on his head before getting back ready for this next pitch.
He's the team captain, and he is an ultra-competitive guy. I've known him for years.
Tanner going to be foul on the left, just outside the line.
Boy, if that stays in the line, he can run all day.
Tanner was halfway down to first, still with the bat in his hand.
But yeah, Rich Schultz, the captain of this team, he's their catalyst, their leadoff hitter, and he may see their season slowly slipping away here. Anything can happen, but we're in the bottom of the 4th and a 10-run lead with still only 1 out for the Heat. The loser will not be done playing, but they will be done playing for a championship. They will play in the 7th place game.
Blistering swing there, almost took out Fonzie if it would have connected. It's going to be another strike because that one's just a hair on the inside.
Now to 3 strikes again, but they've been 3 strikes hitters against Fonzie. Only a couple strikeouts all game. Ooh, and there's one there.
And there it's going to be right there. That is an out for Tanner Gears.
Well, that's a gift. Let's see if the Comets can take advantage now and shut it down here with the 2 rookies coming up back-to-back here, Simpson and Finney now.
Grant up at the plate has both pant legs pulled up to just under his knees now instead of one.
Remember that at the conclusion of this game, we will select the Hannigan Team Realty Player of the Game.
Bouncing grounder over into left. Rich Schultz running over. Daniel coming to back him up. Daniel has it. Grabbed it right just before Rich. That's going to be Daniel Hernandez with the out, bringing the Comets in.
Daniel, my brother, as they call him. He is wiser than me, but that ends the inning. All right, so they stay out of the 12-run rule as we head to the 5th. 15-5. It's getting down to now or never time, though, for the Comet offense.
Nitty gritty. They're going to have to pull it out right here. They can't do it all in the 6th. They're going to have to take a big chunk here in the 5th and put many runs up on the boards to keep them within reach. Thank you for all our sponsors for helping us put on this event, and especially for our game of the days. Today, Bosma Enterprises, Navigating Blindness. Bosma Enterprises partners with socially responsible companies that have a focus on supplier diversity. They are located in Indianapolis and serve hundreds of clients each year all over the state of Indiana. Their initiatives help adults gain life skills needed to remain independent and job skills needed to stay self-sufficient. Their partnerships create jobs for people with vision loss who would otherwise face a 70% unemployment rate. For more information, please visit at bosma.org.
And you know, Bosma not only supports Beat Baseball financially, but they also, many of their several, I think you could count on two hands the number of people that are associated with Bosma who also serve as either players or volunteers in Beat Baseball. And Bosma also is a big part of helping sponsor the Indy Beat Ball Bonanza, one of the biggest local tournaments that we have during the summer, the first week of Indianapolis. So we really appreciate the ongoing partnership with Bosma Enterprises of Indianapolis. I want to give a shout out too to the Airport Marriott Hotel here in St. Charles for being our host hotel and their hospitality, putting us up for the week. They've got great event space to hold what we're having, which is not only our World Series but also our national convention. We are a registered 501c3.
This is AJ up to bat for the Comets.
To learn more about the National Beat Baseball Association and all other things Beat Baseball, visit www.nbba.org.
Just underneath the bat.
President Jerry Wendell enjoying the game today, just right here to my left.
Just underneath the bat. Bat back up at the ready. And just underneath again. It's going to be a strike for AJ, bringing Rich Schultz back up to the plate, left-handed hitter for the Comets.
And I have confirmed with Jerry Wendell, our league president, that the winner of this game will take on the Indy Edge at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning in an elimination round game. The winner of the Titans and the Cleveland Scrappers, which looks like the Titans. Is that game ended? 7-2. 7-2, New Jersey Titans. So they advance. They will take on the Indy Thunder as they try to play their way back. The Cleveland Scrappers will play for 7th. Let me tell you, they were ranked 13th coming into this tournament. That is a huge deal. They pulled the upset of the tournament, knocking out the Boston Renegades. And I'm telling you what, Rob Weissman's going to have a long winter wrestling with that. They will finish no better than 9th.
Ball a little bit high over Rich's bat there, swinging himself halfway around.
And that's too bad, because if you think about Boston's losses, they gave the Heat all they could handle in that pool play game that we saw on Tuesday afternoon, and then they lost a 5-2 game to the Indy Edge. I don't know what happened today, but Cleveland got them.
Just over the outer edge of the bat.
I heard there was a lot of one Stanley Griffin in that game. Griffin, the great shortstop for the Scrappers, he may be on his way to an MVP. We'll just have to see. It wouldn't be his first.
Just under the bat this time. Rich reaching down to feel along that front edge of home plate. Leaning down, pulling that bat back up over his shoulder.
Rich got a real good rip to lead off this game, but he hadn't done much since.
And again, right over the bat. red, white, and blue star-spangled gloves on. Ready for the pitch. Chad instructing the catcher to move the glove over. And Rich connecting over into pop-up, bouncing off of Tanner's body as he runs to third. Tanner has that, and that's going to be out.
That's a good play by Tanner Gears. Some of the better defense I've seen him play in his career has been at this World Series. And that is the second out of the inning. Is that right, Rosina? Yes.
That's what I have.
2 outs now in the top of the 5th.
Dustin at home plate. Kneeling down there at home plate as he tightens and adjusts his gloves.
You know, JT Herzog was such a big part of the current tournament format, the switch in 2006. A lot of that was his idea. He put on a batting clinic once at the World Series for teams. He's just done a lot for the sport of beep baseball, and especially beep ball in the city of Chicago, including the Bolingbrook Beep Ball Batch, which is still ongoing, now in its 22nd year.
Grounder over into short left as he runs to
problem.
first. Richie's
Flores,
on it.
yeah.
He fumbled the ball.
He did, but he had enough time to
He
recover.
recovered. That's going to bring them in.
That's a 3-up, 3-down inning at the worst possible time for Chicago, as you can sort of see the sand slowly slipping out of their hourglass. Bayou City by 10, coming to bat in the bottom of the 5th.
Heat making their way in. They are up by 10 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. You can hear they're a little bit more relaxed, a lot more joking as they go into this than their previous game that we saw them with. Chicago again doing a nice huddle on our left before they head out into defense. JT riling them up. Play good defense. Gotta hold them.
Want to shout out the Delta Gamma Foundation for a generous grant, $5,000, along with the Major League Baseball Foundation. Major League Baseball supplied funding for Kids of Our League program, beep baseball shirts, and other giveaways.
Comets now taking the field as the Heat gets ready with Noah Fenney, seeing if he can hammer another one deep into the field.
Well, this is just gravy right now. It's never over till it's over, as Yogi Berra said. And that's true in baseball because we don't have a time clock, at least not this year anyway. However, 10-run cushion, it's a pretty big lead, especially on these fields at this time of the tournament.
Well, nothing's ever over until it is over, but having a cushion like that does make you not quite so tense, not so stressed, not feeling like every hit is going to kill you. So you can kind of just sit back and play ball.
Nothing is ever over until it's over, except for Jerry Wendell's term as president, which will end on August 10th. He's done a great job for us. And he will be turning over the reins to someone we're seeing in this game today, Richie Flores.
But for now, it is Noah Fenney up
Now
at the
it's
plate.
Noah Finney. Ooh, wave to the
Pop
future.
up again in center mid as he runs to third. They just got to get to it. Alex Camino coming up, and no, that's going to be a run for Noah Fenney.
Boy, is he a prospect, man. Wave to the future of the Bayou City Heat organization. That's a keeper there for Fonzie.
I told you when I first saw him that he had a very reminiscent of a early age Justin Holland when I saw him hit.
Boy, I'll tell you what, he's probably not as fleet of foot yet as Justin Holland, but he's got that kind of power. And he will pick up the defense. He's had a put out today, so he's learning. You know, defense can be...
Take a little bit longer to get.
It's the hardest part of the game to learn because of the team aspect. It's not only knowing how to field the ball, it's not only listening to the ball and all that, it's zone discipline and communication and all of the other things, because all 6 players are blindfolded, and so they're relying on each other as much as they are the ball
Lupe Perez with a strike as the ball goes right underneath the bat, dead center. Just catching the inside of the bat, gonna go foul on the left.
Again, we will not have a game of the day in the 8 o'clock time slot tomorrow morning, but there will be elimination games as well as placement games. The big ones, of course, the Indy Thunder and New Jersey Titans, and the winner of this game right now looking like the Heat against the Indy Edge. And then we will be back on at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, Gateway Archers and BSO Philly Fire for the right to play for a championship on Saturday morning.
Lupe ready for the pitch. Pop up high and mid as he runs to first. Daniel would come forward too much, had to turn around and go, and Lupe missed the base, had to come back, and that gave them the out.
That's the second time in a row that Lupe Perez has had base running issues. Rich Schultz on the put out.
Lupe is still laying down past the base. I'm not sure if he's just disappointed or if he's hurt. He is laying stomach down on the ground next to first base. He's getting up.
There you go.
He's just on his hands and knees, slowly
maybe
working it
knocked
slow.
the wind out of himself, and look, like I said, man, it's physically demanding, and Lupe Perez has been doing this for about 30 years now. And, you know, sometimes you go over that base, and even on soft fields like this.
He's limping with a leg.
It's that time of the week. This is where having a deep roster helps. Neither one of these teams have a terribly deep roster, as Lupe gets a round of applause.
The limp is less as he's coming back to his base, calling to his teammates to pick him up. And to do just that, we have Alex Gonzalez at home plate. Field is good. Check on first and third. We do have a substitution there for him.
It'll be Johnny Cagle going in for Lupe. So Lupe's day is done. He was productive, scored a couple times.
Oh, just missing that for Alex. Again, a lot of whistle going on those swings.
Well, and he's got that home run earlier, becoming the third player in the tournament to do it. First one today.
Pop-up's going to be fouled just about over to our left.
And that ball is going to need to be changed, I think.
Calling for a new ball. As Alex feels home plate, Jordan's going to bring that ball up.
You know, Raising Cane's didn't just provide lunch on Wednesday for us. Well, they did that, and it was excellent. But they also gave a Cool Clinic sponsorship, doggy daycare, lemonade carts, volunteers, and buy one, get one free gift cards. Thank you, Raising Cane's.
New ball is into Fonzie now as Alex waits patiently. And the outfielder has a little bit cooler weight than they did earlier at the beginning of this game, where they were pretty roasted out. Now it's cool and pleasant. They don't like it, they said.
The more longer running games, though, that we've been a part of so far this week. There's been a few more stoppages, and the play has been just a little slower than some of the others. We've been getting games in less than 2 hours here in some cases.
I have to get some new balls out here as I Laughter going on at the plate as we're going to keep waiting for a ball. Special thank you out there to all our volunteers who help put on this game, running balls, running water jugs, running scorekeepers and base runners from field to field, out there watching the bases, field umps. All that help and volunteer is much appreciated. We could not do this without you. So a special shout out to all of you, whether you're spending a game, a day, or the entire week. Looks like we have a new ball ready to go.
How about Sirens Beat Ball getting the first ever win for an all-female team in the history of the NBBA World Series, a 2-1 victory over the SGV Panthers.
And Boston Strong, first time they've been in the
And they shut
World
out West Palm
Series.
Beach, so the Sirens and Strong will play for 17th place, which is better than playing for last. Millers and Outlaws, I believe, played for 15th, so that held serve. Boy, Cleveland really messed up our predictions there.
Alex getting an inside catch on that. It's going to be deep into left as he runs for third. Dustin struggling to get it, but that's going to be a run for Alex. That was in the air forever.
Bottom of the fifth.
Bottom of the fifth, okay.
That was up in the air coming down behind Rich.
So there is your 12-run spread now, if my math is correct, but it won't matter because there's only 3 outs of defense left to be played for Bayou City. So it really is a moot point.
Non-moot.
But they need to keep this game moving along here, as this may very well be the last one going again today.
I do see one game out behind us across the parking lot.
Interesting. I wonder if that was another one that started late or
I
not.
have no idea what further down the field there is, but nothing else around us is going.
You mean you can't see that far?
Can't see past cars.
See, folks like me, we think y'all can see everything.
Sorry, my curse of vision only goes so far. Daryl Miner at the plate. That's what I tell my children when I was cursed with vision. And a pop up into mid-center in front of Dustin as Daryl runs for first, and I think that's going to be a dead ball as he just stopped running and just...
Another dead ball. And the balls, which have held up so
waiting.
well this entire week, are now dying like crazy.
Jordan's headed out to the field. We're going to need to leave first running.
Little bit of frustration now you can hear. That's a relatively new rule also, where the base stays on while they check the dead ball, and that makes sense if you think about it, because that's the condition that the play happened under. It just took us about 40 years to figure that out, and we finally did.
So it is confirmed that is an official dead ball. Daryl will come back to home plate, and we will get another ball into play. Jordan runs that in. Christina resets her defense out.
The NBBA World Series has taken place without fail every year since 1976, with the exception of 2020, due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And we went and had an 8-teamer anyway that was non-sanctioned, and what do you know, it was Thunder and Jets for the championship of that one in a slugfest, which the Thunder won. So if you ask them, they would say they would have had 6 straight had it not been for COVID.
Let's go, pretty boy.
But the fact that we got to play any ball in 2020 at all was a blessing.
Catching that on the inside, and that's going to roll foul just before the third base. Have a little bit of a scent of smoke rolling in on the breeze.
Smells like somebody's burning some leaves or some shrubbery or something.
Not a good time with a breeze to be burning brush. Daryl headed back up to home plate.
This fifth inning has taken forever, folks.
Daryl tapping his back thigh there to keep his leg going through the rest of this pitch. And it's going to be a pop fly out into left as he runs for third. They're still running for it, and they're going to say safe.
The Heat really pouring it on now, and the Comet defense is struggling to really pick anything up. I mean, it's noisy out there, but they got to find a way to end this inning and get back under their tent and hit.
Daryl coming back in at a leisurely pace as the Comets reset back out in the field. Tanner coming up to home plate as they set up third base again. Didn't completely come apart, just going to get it knocked from about 10 feet away, so bringing that up into position. Fonzie kind of setting up Tanner for body set up of how to pivot his shoulders there before he pitches.
So barring a miraculous comeback, it will be the Comets and Cleveland Scrappers, two old rivals playing for 7th place. And the Bayou City Heat would go and rest up and get ready for the Indy Edge tomorrow morning. And you know, the Edge are going to come out with a chip on their shoulder after being beat today for the first time in 2 years.
They will be playing with a very specific goal in mind.
Well, that's to survive and advance at this point.
That's it, yeah, just absolute, very dedicated, very focused.
Check first. It's on.
And as we said at the Open, the undefeated game tomorrow, it'll be the first time since 2015 that an Indy team is not involved in that.
Checking on first, Jordan is headed down.
And in fact, an Indy team was involved in 2015. That's right, before Jerry corrects me. He was around for that. The RHI Extreme, which was kind of the forerunner to the Indy Edge. Lost to Austin and then promptly got dispatched by Taiwan.
Have another sub coming in on the Heat.
And in fact, the Extreme were a part of the undefeated game in 2014 as well, losing to the Blackhawks. So it has been since 2013 that there has not been an Indianapolis team in the undefeated Friday game. History here in Missouri.
Lupe Perez to be coming back in for the Heat. Now look, a few practice tosses there, and we are ready to get this back on track. Tanner Gears at the plate. Going to be a foul on the right.
And they're taking much more time than is customary between pitches here. I mean, this hasn't just been timeouts.
Good time for a play.
I almost feel like we're taking liberties here, and it's, you know, it's Jordan Simpson as the plate ump. It's her. She controls the game, and if she needs to speed this up, she can. Now you can't do anything about timeouts, but this here we go.
And a little on the inside, close to the knees. And it's going to be a strike because it narrow miss.
You got it, Collins?
And a pop fly out into deep center as he runs to third. It's past them all. There he goes on third. Another run for the Heat. 19-5 at the bottom of the fifth. Heat lead.
This is by far the widest margin of victory we have seen on this field this week.
They're only one run away from hitting that 20
spot that
mark.
we talked about. Yep.
And Grant Simpson will be up at the plate.
Now, at what point, you still have 3 outs of defense to record, but I would wonder at what point do you start getting your starters out of here and ready for tomorrow? Because if you want to play for a championship, you're going to have to win 3 games tomorrow to do it. And you're up by 14 runs, so at what point you don't want to risk anything crazy happening here in a game that is really no longer in doubt.
Cassie.
I'm gonna get a call for some more balls.
Sounds like we're calling for our tournament director over here.
Oh, they're getting balls.
Grant waiting
There's
patiently
a good
at
one.
home plate.
Wait, how many ball changes have we had here just in the last inning?
I think
inning
we've
and a
had
half?
more in this game than all the other games that we've done.
Combined.
Holding the ball up to see if the outfield agrees with this.
You know, even with all this, though, we are just past the 2-hour mark in this game. We did start at 2:30, and it's about 20 till 5 now. So it feels like this game has stalled here a little bit, but we're still reasonable. What you want to try to avoid are the 3.5 hour beat ball games. We saw a 4-hour game last year in Norman.
Fonzie wiping the sweat off of his face before gearing up for the pitch. It's going to be a strike going just under Grant's bat. And a bouncing grounder up the center just past Daniel as he runs to first. Rich trying to grab it, and he is
There we
out.
go.
Rich Schultz with the out as he plows into first.
And that is the second out only of the inning. Still needing one more with Noah Finney coming up. Rich Schultz has made quite a few putouts in this game at the mid-level. I think I have him at 4.
Noah setting up at home.
And you do see a new batter on the on-deck circle as Lupe Perez was substituted out.
Fonzie hopping up and down there at the pitcher's mound. And Noah leaning back up and ready for the pitch. And pop-up fly into right this time as he runs for
Tough
first.
play.
Giovanni headed for it. He's missed the base. He's stopped.
That's an out. That's an out. That's interference on the base runner. It's got to be.
No, the base runner is on the outer side, away from the. He just stopped.
Well, oh,
ran
I
into
see.
the
Well, that's
volunteer.
an out. Yeah, the reason they yelled stop was not because of the fielder. It was because of the base runner, so that's an out. That's an out, and mercifully, the bottom of the 5th comes to an end.
I don't know what they're going to call.
They've got to call that an out.
He said he's safe.
How is he safe when they were yelling stop in the middle of the play? And if I'm JT,
JT is coming
yeah,
out.
if I'm JT, I'm upset as well.
You can't call that safe.
That's, yeah, that is absolutely the wrong call. Absolutely. Because once you hear stop as a defender, you're stopping too. And the reason the stop, the command was given, was because of the base runner. That's clearly an out. And she needs to reverse that call. Otherwise, this
JT
game...
talking with Fonzie.
And that's not a judgment call. That's a protestable call. You can't protest a judgment call, but when you fudge a rule, you can.
They were running towards the base.
Well... But the stop command was given. Well, at the worst, then that should be a replay. I don't think they can just award the run. Did he ever touch the base?
He did not.
He did not touch the base, so you can't award the run in any situation. He never touched the base at all. And they've got Jerry Wendell went out there. They're going to have to figure this one out.
There's interference by the base judge.
It is interference by the base judge, but that's disadvantaged defense, correct?
Well, both, because if the base judge hadn't been there, it wouldn't have been interfered with the runner. But then when they called it off, the defense, of course, stopped. So
Correct.
therefore,
So it's a dead ball replay then, it should be.
I would think.
It should be a dead ball replay. What you can't do is just order an automatic run, because that's... Giovanni stopped also.
Absolutely.
As the blindfolded defender, you have no idea why the stop command is given, but you are trained. When you hear that stop command, you stop. Safety. Now,
They're just going to hold off out in the field and as we wait for a call.
But we'll see how Jason goes.
Jason Price is over here. All right. He's our umpire-in-chief, or head umpire, as we call it in the NBBA. ASA, they call it an umpire-in-chief.
I know that's illegal. Does that mean every one of his put-outs don't count? I don't know, man. He's wearing metal spikes. Hey, that's an offensive lineman running down the line.
Well, that's the story. We'll figure this one out.
That is illegal.
That is illegal.
And while we do, we'll thank once again Mind's Eye Radio and the St. Louis Lighthouse for the Blind, our local presenting sponsors of the National Beat Baseball Association World Series. And I'm going to have to change my dinner plans if...
Look, this is
No,
going to
just
draw
kidding,
just
but-
a hair longer, but definitely want to get these calls right.
You want to get it right, even in a game that's arguably out of hand, because, I mean, you don't want to take an out or a run away from somebody unless, you know, you want to follow the rules. I think in this case, what do you think, Rosina? The fair way to do it here would just
I would
bring him
think
back.
that would be just a
Just bring him
but
back.
I am unfamiliar with the rules. Definitely would not just be an automatic run.
But there's a good argument that it shouldn't be an out either, because it wasn't Noah running awry. It was a volunteer getting in the base path, and they yelled stop to keep the volunteer from getting trucked by a very, very big boy.
Still waiting here as the discussion is. The umps are making that decision.
October 18th and 19th is the annual All-Star Showcase presented by Tappy Sports and Beatball Nation in San Antonio, Texas. It is not a sanctioned NBBA event yet. Nevertheless, 32 of the best players from around the country will be selected and split into 2 teams for 3 games of high-level beat baseball competition. And if you've seen the last 2, folks, you realize how high-level it is. We had Jared Woodard and Fonzie Medrano as the pitchers last year, and they just lit up the Texas sky. There will be 1 game on Friday evening under the lights, 2 more games on Saturday. That's October 18th and 19th, live from the Star Complex in San Antonio, Texas. And that is part of what these players are competing for at this World Series, because all tournament selections, offense and defense at the World Series, have an automatic selection to the All-Star Showcase. They are exempt from the at-large selection process.
And again, it does take over 250 beat balls to run our World Series. For just a shout out for all those who helped sponsor that are Cardinals Care and St. Louis Cardinals, Hannigan Realty, and Major League Baseball's Fantasy for Kids program. They donated for our Beat Baseball shirts and many other giveaways. So a thank you to them, and also to our sponsors for securing our Slice-A Soccer Complex. Bill Jones, Sue Slocum, Richard Mark, longtime Mind's Eye donors, as well as Ameren, Illinois, the power company for the surrounding area. We do have now umps up at home plate along with JT and Lee Rodriguez for the Heat in Chicago, going over this ruling of how this is going to play out.
But every second that they debate this and try to figure this out is taking time away from the Heat being able to get back and rest up for their games tomorrow. If I were Bayou City at this point, I don't know, I might just concede it and let's go on and finish this game.
You'd have
Because
Chicago,
8 o'clock's going to come early tomorrow, Rosie.
it will come early. Chicago resting out in the field, Dustin laying down on his stomach, others just patiently waiting. At least it is cooler. It's not blistering heat anymore. Some of that breeze has died down, and the noise from the highway is not carrying quite as much, but it's definitely cooler. JT looks like he's smiling a little bit there as he talks with Jordan and Jason.
And this is good. This is a teaching moment, too, for Jordan Simpson. She does an excellent job, but she's only been an umpire for a couple of years. She's one of our newer umpires. So this is a good, if you're going to get anything positive out of this, as we now are closing in on 5 o'clock p.m. Central Time, it is that this is a good educational experience for her. You don't see that every day. We had something similar on Tuesday afternoon, although Mike Woodard was the umpire for that, with the ball off the hand and the ruling there that that's a dead ball strike. I had never seen that before, although I think that they got the call right in that situation. That was probably a more high leverage situation than this. They just need to make a call here. At the risk of sounding like the great Hawk Harrelson, TV announcer for the White Sox, they just need to keep the line moving. We need to make a call here. And let's see, what other content can we give the listeners and viewers that we haven't already given? Beatball Nation is your one-stop shop and social media hub for all things beat baseball. Are you looking for live streams, breaking news from around the beat baseball world, announcements, information, and interactive chat with players and coaches? Go to Beatball Nation on Facebook and send a request to join. Beatball Nation is your one-stop shop for all things beat baseball since 2016.
Okay, so that's going to be called an out, I believe, as the Comets come in.
Well, that may be the correct call under the rule book. I can understand why Noah Finney might have a beef there. He's like, wait a minute, I was told to stop. I didn't do anything wrong. But that's how they called it, and you know what? In a 19-5 game, I'm not sure that it's going to make a whole ton of difference. It might affect Noah's stats a little bit.
Heat does head out to the field, and as you said, it is nearing that 5 o'clock mark. And hey, Philly, are you hungry? S&J's Catering, LLC, is a premier catering business founded in 2017 and led by a blind entrepreneur whose vision transcends sight. S&J's Catering, LLC exemplifies resilience, creativity, and dedication. With a commitment to excellence, personalized service, and attention to detail, we ensure that every event is memorable and exceeds our clients' expectations. They're renowned for its exceptional culinary artistry and impeccable service to the Philadelphia area. Hey Philly, are you hungry? Call 215-284-7485.
So we'll head to the top of the sixth. 3 defensive outs away from a victory for the Bayou City Heat. The Comets still have 3 outs left to work with, trailing by a bunch. They've had a great season.
It's going to bring Giovanni up to the plate for the Comets after his stop on that defensive play.
After starting out the year slow and dealing with some injury and unavailability with some roster issues, the Comets placed 3rd in their own Bolingbrook Beat Ball Bash in June, and then went up to Champaign, Illinois, and knocked off both the Gateway Archers and Indy Thunder to come into this game with some momentum. And they have done well here at this World Series, losing close games to the Indy Thunder and a relatively close game to the Indy Edge, although the Edge pulled away late in that one. This one, though, has been all Bayou City from the get-go.
Have those base checks. Giovanni is ready for the pitch.
Franchisi got credited with that putout, by the way, on that weird play.
Just on the outer lower edge of the bat.
When a play like that happens, you award the putout to the closest player to the play, and that was Giovanni, so he'll get that last putout.
And popping up right over to my right, between me and Cam, the cameraman. And I also did not reach a hand out for it either.
I don't blame you. That thing had some steam coming back here. You catch it on a finger, and that could break it. And I don't mean a nail, I mean the finger.
High, hard pop up over into short left as he runs for first. Richie having to come over. He's gonna be safe. That's a run for Giovanni and the Comets.
That was a long way for Flores to travel, and Giovanni, he got there.
Smile on his face as he comes back up towards home plate, and teammate Lemarin up at home, bringing it in with a little jog. And a shout, "Let's go Comets" to his teammates.
Never say die. Now it's 19-6, still nobody out, but they need production from the bottom half of the lineup.
Getting that base check on first and third, asking.
And they haven't gotten much of it today. I count 1 run from the bottom third of the batting order.
Lemarin Aldridge. Oh, almost taking out Chad as it goes down the center and right to midway as he runs for third. Tanner scrambling for it. He's got it. That's going to be out.
Man, I thought that was going to hit him.
That's a bang-bang play, and Tanner gets it. Well fielded, well positioned for that.
I'm sure Chad must have felt the breeze as that went by his midsection.
Boy, right up the middle. He almost maybe wishes that he had gotten nicked by that a little bit there as Tanner
I don't know
made the
if I
play.
would have been hit by that one.
Oh, they're
there was
tough,
a lot
though.
of power. Alex up at home plate.
20% in my DH spot coming up next.
So Mike
That's
McGlashan, after all, will enter the game. We thought maybe he was going in earlier, but he did not. Now he will come in and get an at-bat, as announced by JT Herzog.
Right behind Alex Gamino.
So you will be able to pencil him into AJ Gillespie's spot. He's in the on-deck circle now. 1 out, 1 in. 19-6.
Alex asking for first again.
Let's see if he can get more run, and that's toward that traffic noise. First base, if there's anything that's been hard to run to, it's really been first more than third. At least that's what I've noticed.
Catching the very tip of his bat and dropping down.
I have a recommendation for the Hannigan Team Realty Player of the Game.
And just a short little bouncer goes barely past Chad between his legs. That's going to be foul as Alex will come back.
So 2 strikes now. Barring a miracle comeback, I'm going to be recommending Fonzie Medrano himself for the Hannigan Team Realty Player of the Game. Pitchers are players too.
Alex reset back up at home plate. One hand on the bat as he looks up and takes a deep breath, regripping and at the ready. Nod to Chad. Just getting a nibble on that and dropping down. And going grounder to the left. Richie running after it as Alex runs to first, and Richie has that scrambled up and out. Richie Flores.
2 outs, 1 to go. Bayou City on the brink of advancing to Friday, still alive. They'll be one of 6 teams.
This is Michael McGlashan up for his at bat for the Comets, has subbed in.
Mike the Hoodlum McGlashan, 2017 Hall of Fame inductee. Been with the Comets since 1999, except for 1 season, 2012, when he played with the RHI Extreme, and missed the Comets so much that he went home after that World Series, back to Chicago. Prior to the Comets, he played 1 year with Frank Mathena and the Lone Star Roadrunners, and then was a Chicago Cobra. Prior to that, came up with the team called the Ithaca Shot in the Dark. How about that for a team name? The Ithaca Shot in the Dark. That was the late Roger Keeney's team.
Just over the top of the bat.
The beep ball tradition goes on and on. Roger Keeney recruited Mike McGlashan into the game in 1987, and Mike McGlashan recruited one David Benny into the game in 1999. As we pass it down.
And just over the top of the bat by about 3 inches.
McGlashan, another one who has been talking about maybe hanging it up at the end of this year.
Have a hold on this very low plane.
That's a low one. Where's this guy going to land? On field 6?
Field 1.
Hopefully a runway.
Chad asking if we're good. Bat up at the ready. Just over the top of the bat.
Down to their last strike. The Comets have gone as far as they could go, but the clock is about to strike midnight, it would appear.
And getting a small chunk out of that glass slipper.
They'll stay alive.
Chad headed back out to the pitcher's mound. And ready for the pitch. And he gets a solid line drive into left,
Problem
just around
is,
to
that's
Richie's
Flores.
running to third.
Oh, he's
Richie's
calling
just
dead ball.
stopped.
No, but he called dead ball.
We're gonna just
And we're going to turn third base on, please. Turn third base on.
and we're gonna check on
Third base is now on. And third base is getting bad now, too.
Michael just tackled that. It's now back up. Dead
It
ball
is a dead ball.
so
He'll
he
come
will
back.
come back. Yeah, we have gone through more balls, I think, in this than all our other game of the days combined.
Huh? No. I have 2
We'll get another ball and throw it in for at least one more pitch. Well, now what was wrong with that ball there?
Didn't sound nice to me. That one don't sound at all.
Yeah, that other one was fine for what we're doing right now. As another plane flies over.
Another ball back into Chad's hands. Rubs a little bit of dirt from home plate area all over the ball. Mike stepping back up to home plate. Now just backing off of it slightly. Up on the shoulder. And a short pop up into center as he runs to third again. Richie trying to come up on top of that, scrambling to the wrong area. That's going to be a run for the Comets.
Look at that. Mike McGlashan scores and extends the game.
That makes it
19-7 now. After all of that, he had to do it twice. And, you know, that's interesting. We saw Wilbur Turner from Cleveland score, not on this field, but he scored a run yesterday. Now McGlashan scores one. Throwback, baby.
starting back over with Rich Schultz. Left-handed batter for the Comets, starting lineup.
Still needing a lot of runs.
A whole lot of runs.
They're gonna, if nothing else, make this look a little more respectable. And you know what? You got Rich Schultz and Dustin Youngren coming up.
A quick exhale by Rich Schultz at home plate. Reaching down to feel the front of home plate with his hand before bringing the bat up over his shoulder. And he caught the edge of that, and it's going to go foul to the right.
Youngren on deck. He wants one more crack at it, too.
I'm like, get me in there, coach. I'm ready to play. And another plane
this is
overhead.
Now the longest game that we have called as on our game of the day, as it has eclipsed 2.5 hours.
I do see people on that far field, but I do not see them playing currently.
I think we're the only game in town now, Rosina. Unless the Cardinals are playing tonight. We know they're playing at home tomorrow night because many of our people will be attending that game.
Ready for the pitch. And a grounder out into center right as he runs for third. Tanner going for it. Is he going to get... And that is going to be out.
That's it. That's ball game. A bang-bang play. Ty goes to the fielder, but that was, I think, a half a step. So that's your final. The Bayou City Heat win and move on in the elimination bracket. They will play the Indy Edge tomorrow morning. The Chicago Comets had a great season. They can finish no worse than 8th, where they started this tournament. They will be playing for 7th place tomorrow morning. I will offer up Fonzie Madrano, who pitched a great game, as our Hannigan Team Realty player of the game.
Both teams lining up now for that congratulatory handshake as they meet in the center over home plate. And thank you for all joining us today and all the previous days. And please tune in tomorrow to catch more Beep Baseball and get your fix on so you can chat up your team on your social media platform.
Games get going again at 8 a.m. We will be back for a game of the day at 11 a.m. Central Time. Thanks for